Did you hear about the hair-lip dog?
No.
Yeah. Mark. Mark. He barked. When he barked, he said, Mark.
We get the joke, mate.
I'm sorry. You can cut that out. I'm sorry.
I love how you explained it as well.
You got him laughing. Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. You're looking at the most difficult technology right here.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I was on the air with you in the first place. But,
I was concerned.
Slaughter daughter's not here. Slaughter daughter's back at home.
That's right. Yeah, she's the technical whiz. Or sometimes you've got Paul. I think
Paul's around. He's actually over in where is he today? He's in Germany. He's he works with the Rolling Stones tour.
Oh, that's cool.
They were in Madrid. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Now they're in, I believe, Munich.
That's cool.
He's going to be over there for 14 shows.
Lucky.
So he's gone for a while over there. I wish I was with him.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But, he's a funny guy. I like him.
Yeah, it's amazing to. He tells me the stories of the Stones. You know how they perform, and they're my age. I mean, they're older than I am, and they're rocking and rolling. And Keith Richards does a couple of songs, and I never knew that he actually sang solos, but he does. And of course, Mick Jagger, he says, for 2.5, 3 hours doesn't stop. It just keeps moving.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, they're amazing.
He had some major problems a couple of years ago with his heart. So I guess if you do the right things, God knows how long we can be here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been really getting into the Sex Pistols and Johnny Rotten. I know that they've got a new series that I want to watch on Disney Plus that's based on the life and the beginning of the Sex Pistols. But I can't believe I've forgotten his name. Do you know the real name of Johnny Rotten?
No.
I think it starts with an L. I was just watching it the other day, and I know he doesn't like to go by Johnny Rotten anymore, but he is quite a character. But he's very smart, and he talks a lot of John Lydon. There we are. John Lydon was Johnny Rotten.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been really getting into some of that stuff now. The old British punk. Which I wasn't really.
Where did the Rotten come in? His name is John, so he changes to Johnny Rotten. Was that something that he was called as a kid, or?
Well, according to the documentary that I saw, it was because he had poor dental hygiene.
Oh, okay.
So they called him Johnny Rotten, which is pretty horrible when you think about it. But that's pretty bad. But brilliant man, very smart, very clever. It's funny how a name sticks. Who was the other guy? The guitarist Sid Vicious?
Sid Vicious. Sid. Yeah. Is it Sid? No, it's not Sid. It's something else.
Let's look it up. Internet.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Sid Vicious. Yeah, but not the wrestler.
Vicious was a wrestler.
Fuck. Hang on. Sex Pistols.
Yeah. Not Psycho Sid.
No. It is Sid Vicious. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Sid Vicious. So
I'm
maybe
not sure if that's where he got the name from for the wrestler.
I think the wrestler went. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the wrestler stole his name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
He's big enough to see it though, Sid Vicious. So.
How about Sid Slaughter?
That's better. Yeah. Arguably better.
Yeah. Slid Slammer.
Sid Slammer. Sid Slammer doesn't have the same ring to it. It's not quite the same.
Doesn't have that meaning.
It doesn't have that rock and roll flavor to it.
Yeah. Wasn't there another sergeant, somebody that was in the UK or over in Europe, a Sergeant Rock or a Sergeant?
So Sergeant Rock was a comic book that they used to have.
Comic book.
Yeah.
Sergeant Rock, yeah.
But
Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to play him in a film, but they never got it going.
Oh, okay.
Right. But your character, Serge, has many other names, not just Slammer. There's actually been there's Sergeant Driller is a version of your action figure that came from, I think it came maybe the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
Sergeant Smasher from India.
Smasher, that's the one.
Yeah.
Sergeant Smasher came from India.
Sergeant Smasher, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. I also go by Hey You.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes you get told off sometimes if you call you the wrong thing, which I found out today.
Yeah, there you go.
I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah. Trying to set this up, but I'm afraid to touch it.
Well, so far, so good.
See my hand in there? Trying to get my hand out of there. There we go.
Done.
Sergeant Hand.
It's that's how they got the idea for that card art, Sarge, with a wonky hand.
The claw.
I'm gonna get you.
That's the tickle monster.
Tickle Monster. I used to play Tickle Monster with my daughters.
Yeah, I was a tickle monster in my home when my kids were little too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that I think universal. And then after a while,
we had a fun time. Kelly one time had a friend sleep over, and she kept telling her someone's going to come in called Tickle Monster. And the other girl goes, "What do you mean, Tickle Monster?" "Well, you'll find out." So they go to bed. And of course, good night, Kelly. Good night, Sarah. Okay, good night. And I'd go out of the room and I'd come back in. The Tickle Monster is here. And I'd start tickling Kelly. And the other girl sat up and she put the sheets up against her throat like she was terrified. And I'm tickling Kelly and I'd run out. And Kelly goes, Dad, the Tickle Monster was here. And the girl goes, "That was your dad." And she said, "No, that wasn't my dad. It was the Tickle Monster." So then they get quiet and they go back in. The Tickle Monster's here. And I start tickling her. And the other girl was like terrified. She's like, "Oh my God." So "Oh, Dad. Kelly, that is your dad."
She wasn't falling for it.
Kelly, we better stop this because she might go home and start telling her parents your dad is coming in and tickling them at night. That was the one and only time we did a group Tickle Monster.
Yeah. I miss those days when the kids were younger, and you can just mold their imagination a little. With fun stuff like that. You lose that as they got older, and you gotta. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you do miss as a parent, having that interaction. But they're all grown up now. Well, I've still got one teenager left in the house, but you find new things to be proud of and new things to interact with them with. But those sort of things you do kind of miss.
Yeah,
and it goes by so quickly too, which is why I sort of been thinking more about that whole moment versus memory thing. Some of that's been sort of weighing on me too. Those sort of the things that you don't quite appreciate when you're in the moment.
Yeah. Life's very short. I've realised this year.
Right, but I hope you've also realised that you're not alone and you do have friends, even if we're far away.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, I'm very blessed and grateful for for my friends I have. Yeah, they've been fantastic. Both of you as well.
Most of my close friends aren't even near me. They're all back where I grew up, and other cities that I called home for a while because it was where I had to be to wrestle, and but we keep in touch. Texting is good and bad because you send messages, but you don't know how anybody's really feeling until you talk to them.
True.
Yeah,
true.
Very true. Yeah,
and I think that's a bad thing for our kids growing up, or even the adults, because I know my oldest granddaughter is 17. It was going to the prom, and a boy asked her out to the prom by text, and she said,
right.
"No, that's not the way. I'm not taking a date over text. If you want to ask me out, you call me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she ended up going with her friends, like 5 of her friends. They said they had more fun. They danced all night because they didn't have to. You know how guys are. Oh, we have to dance again.
Yeah.
We found out that it was more fun just being with her friends and having a date.
Yeah.
I just don't think that the technology is really. I mean, we gain by it, but then we lose too. You don't really know somebody's feelings when you read it.
That's true, and it can be misinterpreted as well.
Yes,
something that you think you have sent out that is, kind and generous can be misinterpreted as sarcastic. I'm very sarcastic most of the time, so it's hard to differentiate when I'm being serious. But you can misread something. But something like this interaction is it's face to face, even if it's across the pond.
Right.
We were trying to tee this up for weeks, try and get our schedule just right so that it could happen, so we could all sit down and have this conversation and this hangout. I'm glad it's happened.
Yeah,
I really look forward.
Yeah.
I personally, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I personally am waiting to meet you both in person. I want to give you both hugs and Cobra clutches and just get to know you. I mean, I've seen Zazel. I've been with you many times, and I look forward to it. Mark, this is the first time we got to talk face to face, but I can't wait for the day when, whether it's together or separately, I can't wait to meet both of you.
We'll make it work somehow. We'll make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
In real life. In real life.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Somehow some good rock music and some cold beers and many vodka and many vodka tonics. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We'll work it out.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
There's a solution here somewhere. I don't know what it is yet, but there's a solution here. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, until then,
need to win the lottery.
We'll just keep doing this until then.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Now that you figured out how to do it, we can. Yeah, it's too easy to do.
Hey, don't get sarcastic on me now.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was saying to Zazel, I thought I was going to be the bad one trying to do all this because it's on my phone and everything as well. So.
That's right. Yeah. I'm a wrestler. I'm not a technician.
Yeah, right. Right. I'm trying not to be mean now. Just keep all those things in my head.
I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Or you just put half of it over your food.
That's it. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that for portion control.
Basically, what we do in our lives to just to survive. But
you got to have a laugh as well.
Some things.
Absolutely.
I've done things. I've done things in my life. I don't know if I regretted them or if I should have did it differently, but it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I think we've all done that, really, haven't we? Live and learn.
Sometimes the same day,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of a lot of things. I've tried to come to peace with the things that I can't change, and try and improve myself moving forward. Because I don't want to live a life of regret, and you got to make peace with some things in order to move forward. And I'm trying to do that. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Sure. And
yeah,
life goes on.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Mark, especially to you, life goes on. You've lost some very important love of your lives, but just think of all the enjoyment that you had. There were tough times and there's a lot of good times. So
that's it. And the way I look at it now is, my mum and dad are back together.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. Good way to look at it. And now you got to take care of yourself. Make sure you're. We don't want to, do one of these, and it's a black space there. We want you to be on it.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No.
There's a lot of life still left.
If this at all helps you, we'll do it more often. I mean, it's just I like to talk of things, and you're my friend, and if you want to talk things over, or just give me a call. Hey, I'm not doing so good. I'm feeling bad. Or, hey, I'm feeling great today. Look what I did. I might not respond exactly because I might be signing some autographs or something, or be on an airplane.
We're trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get on an airplane and I look up my Twitter deal. I got like 80 messages. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How am I going to catch up? And then when I finally get about halfway, 80 more come.
I know, because when you started following, when I followed you, you were only following about 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Something like that. And now it's in the 20-odd thousands and everything. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't even keep track of it. But my daughter Kelly said, "Dad, let me see your phone." And I had like I don't know, maybe 30,000 followers, and now I'm up to like 85 or something like that. I don't know how it happened, but then I look at other people and they get 1 million. How the heck do you get 1 million followers? I mean, it's just crazy.
No idea.
How do you keep up with that? I don't know how you keep it. Like John Cena's and the Rock, and
right.
Not just wrestlers, but actors and singers and all the. I don't know if they answer or how that works.
Well, you mentioning John Cena there. My dad, I bought a John Never Give Up hat.
Yeah.
God, blimey.
Yeah.
His hat, and my dad always wore it.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of us together and I tweeted it to John.
Right.
Just to say like this and how my dad was doing, and he actually DM'd me a message because he followed me, and then he said, "I saw your picture of your father, and I'm very honoured and everything that he's wearing my hat and everything." Right. And I was like, "Wow, that's I never expected that."
Right.
So that was a
cool.
real honour.
He's very good at that. I used to do the Make-A-Wish before John even became a wrestler, probably before he was even born. And we kept it up, and we didn't do it like they do it now. But when he came in, Vince McMahon, that was one of his priorities, was to make John Cena the biggest hero of all time.
Right.
In our business. So part of it was let's put him into the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I said, but Vince, unless he wants to do it, it's not going to work. I mean, he's got to want to. And he loves doing it. I mean, it's a hard thing. I mean, I go to hospitals, children's hospitals, and I go into rooms where they say, "Oh, you can't go in there. They've got this or they've got that," and I put a mask on and I go in. And I took my chances, but In fact,
Right.
Kelly was with me a couple times, and she didn't go in the rooms, but she witnessed me, talking to children and veterans, go to veterans hospitals, and you walk into a veterans hospital, and these guys can't even get out of bed, and they somehow lift themselves up on the side of their bed. Some stand up and salute me, and I said,
Oh,
"Sir,
right.
sir, no, you get back in. You're not supposed to salute a sergeant.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? If you're gonna do that, you have to drop down and give me some push-ups." So yeah, they get a kick out of that. But just to see
Yeah.
the smile on their face, and
Yeah.
just to have someone come in and say hello, and then all of a sudden it's somebody they recognize or they know.
Yeah.
It really. I don't have any problem sleeping at night. I really don't. I do whatever I think is best, and I've said goodbye to a lot of people on their last wish, and I don't. I put on a pretty strong character, which is one blessing is I can go into character,
Yeah.
and the character doesn't fade. But as soon as I leave that room, tears come flowing. I'm starting to cry right now, thinking about some of the people that. But once you go into character, it takes all that away. And that's kind of what created the character for me, because I was so terrified of that red light. I couldn't be
Right.
myself in front of a camera. In the wrestling, I started out as beautiful Bobby and had the long blonde hair. I did other characters, Bruiser Bob, and then Bob Slaughter. But when I created Sergeant Slaughter, it was a character that I just went into. And every time that red light came on, I was like in a different world. But as soon as the camera went off and I walked off out of the camera area, then I was myself again. But just to turn that on, which helped me so much doing the Make-A-Wish and all the things that I have done over my career of meeting people. And so sometimes it's a blessing. I met a young boy in Connecticut. A friend of mine was a mayor of the city, and he asked if I could come over and visit this little boy who had terminal cancer. And he was about 6 or 7 years old. I said, yeah. So I got the camouflage limo, and we drove over to his house. And when I got out of the car and I walked up the steps to his house, he was looking out the curtains of the front window, and he was just beaming from ear to ear. And I came in, and he was just like, "Oh my God, Sergeant Slaughter!" And he was so shy. And his dad said, "Take Sergeant into your bedroom and show him your walls." So I walked in there, and there wasn't a piece of the wall that didn't have Sergeant Slaughter on it.
Yeah, right.
And his own drawings and pictures. And so I said to his, as we were leaving, I said, uh, "Chris, what would you really like to do? What are you thinking of, like you'd really like to do?" And he goes, "I'd like to go to Disney World, Sarge." I said, "Oh yeah, you'd like to go to Disney World?" So I took his mom and dad. I said, "Can you guys go to Disney World?" "Well, yeah, I guess." I said, "Well, I'll be in touch with you." So I had friends down at Disney World. So I called them up. I said, get them a room and things like that. "Yeah, come on
Oh,
down."
that's cool.
So not only did we go down, I paid for their flights and didn't have to pay for the rooms, but I got them down there. And first day we went to Disney World, they put us in the Mickey Mouse parade.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I carried, he wore camouflage. This little boy wore camouflage. I'll get some pictures of it. And so I held him, I put him up on my shoulder. We walked alongside Mickey and all that.
That is
And he
cool.
felt like a real star,
I bet.
And but I had only one day off, and I had to go. So I said goodbye to him and I hugged him and figured that'd be the last time I'd ever see him. So about, maybe 10 years later, I'm doing an autograph session at a car dealership. And this gentleman comes through the line and he said, "Hey, Sarge, you remember me? I'm Chris's father." I said, "Oh, yeah." Got up and I gave him a hug. "I'm so sorry about everything that happened." And he said, "What are you talking about? We had a good time down at Disney World, didn't we, Chris?"
Oh, wow. That's great.
And there's a 17-year-old boy standing there.
Oh,
And he said, "We don't know what happened, but when we got back from Disney World, we went to the doctor and he said, somehow Chris he doesn't have cancer. We don't know what happened. So we don't know what happened." And I still don't, as far as I know, he's still living. I've been wanting to contact him, but some power of in the enjoyment or whatever it was made him get the will to fight, and he's still living today. I mean, it's one of those crazy moments that happens to you.
What an amazing experience that would have
I don't
been.
know if it was anything I did. There's only one person that creates miracles, but somebody was looking down on that little boy, and because they said he was terminal. And then like 2 weeks after he got back, he was running around having a great time and talking to Sergeant Slaughter, and they went to the doctor, and the doctor was just dumbfounded. He said, "I don't know what happened, but he's okay." So you never know what's going to happen.
No.
That's an amazing story. That would have been such an amazing experience too.
Yeah.
I went to a children's hospital in Connecticut one time with Kelly, visiting, as I said, the children. And I said, we want to leave. A gentleman came up to me and said, "Sarge, I know you're here to see the children, but would you mind coming up and helping me with my wife?" And I said, "Well, what can I do?" He said, "Well, she's supposed to be having a baby 2 days ago, but the baby's not coming down. Would you go up and see what you could do about it?" So I said, "Yeah, Kelly, come on, let's go. You can ask Kelly about this." So I go up into the room and I have a whistle and I'm dressed out as Sergeant Slaughter. And I turn around the corner into her room, I blow the whistle and I start screaming at her stomach. "All right, you little bag." And I'm pointing at her stomach and she's like, and the next time I come here, you better be out of there. You got it. Gave her this big promo. And I turned around and I said, "How are you, ma'am?" "I'm Sergeant Slaughter, and your husband asked me to come up here and see what I could do." So, 3 days later, I get a call from the hospital. "We just wanted you to know that whatever you did, that baby came out about an hour or two later." And I said, "Oh, great." And they said, "Well, that's just half of it. What's the other half?" "Well, it was a boy, and they named it Sarge."
That's great.
"What? They named it Sarge?" Wait a minute.
Brilliant.
So there's a young boy somewhere running around called Sarge.
Sarge Smith.
Story, Sarge. If you're listening,
Yeah.
it's all my fault that they call you Sarge.
That's great.
What a great story you have there. How were you named as a baby, and then they can tell that story.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mum said some stranger walked in and yelled at her.
Yeah. That's crazy. I had another person when I was leaving an arena, they were holding a baby and they said they named their baby Sarge. And I said, "You're kidding me, right?" No, we really, his name is Sarge. I said, "Okay, we named him after you." Okay. Well, I've had dogs and cats named after me, but not.
Yeah, I can see a pet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a person, sure.
A couple of friends that have had cats called them Sarge, but never
Well,
children.
I'm in no position to judge anyone by their name, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mark, I
Well,
had to
my
redo
mum
a
wanted to
promo.
call me Liam when I was,
Yeah.
thingy, but she was outvoted. My dad's mum wanted Mark after she wanted a God-fearing name, so that's how I ended up Mark.
Did you hear about the hair-lip dog?
No.
Yeah. Mark. Mark. He barked. When he barked, he said, "Mark."
We get the joke, mate.
I'm sorry. You can cut that out. I'm sorry.
I love how you explained it as well.
Got him laughing. On that one.
Oh, God.
I love a bad joke. I'm not saying you're a bad joke teller, but yeah, that was.
He's got that from my dad. My dad sent him that. That's me, dad all over. He was terrible.
It's a longer joke, but I didn't think you wanted to go through it. You know, it's actually about a guy who gets out of a car and he's walking around his farmyard and keeps hearing Mark. And his name was Mark, and he was like, he realized it was a dog, a hair-lip dog.
This is the first time I've been told a joke backwards.
Hey, talk about names. Talk about names, Mark. I had to redo a promo for Zazel because I called them. I don't know what I called them, but I didn't pronounce it right. And my daughter said, "Dad, I think it would be a good idea if you redid that promo because you're saying his name wrong." I said, "I did?" He said, "Yeah." So she showed it to me. I said, "Oh my God." I didn't realize it.
It was closer than most. I will give you that. So,
I think I called them Diesel or Ziesel or something
like Zaxel.
Zaxel. That's what it was. Zaxel.
But
I've noticed when they're doing the signings, they can never get you pronounce your name right, can they?
No.
Zazel.
As soon as they say it, I go, "No, that's Zazel."
Zazel, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
I
him?
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I know him.
If I'm ordering a pizza,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Get out of here.
Unfortunately, I know him.
If I order a pizza, sometimes I'll use Logan, which is my middle name.
Oh, no.
So, but if I forget that I've done that, they'll be calling out Logan, and I won't be listening for Logan. So, oh wait, yeah, that is me. That's me.
That's me.
Yeah.
Were your mum and dad Wolverine fans?
No. So here. Let me let you in on a secret.
Could you send me some of that stuff you were smoking?
Sure, if you'll sign it for me. I'm glad I shared that story. Yeah.
I was actually back when I was born in my era, you didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
If I was going to be a girl, my name would have been Roberta.
Okay.
But I was born a boy, so I was called Robert.
Okay. Cool.
That was so. Luckily, you're not talking to Roberta.
Roberta Slaughter. Right. Well, Roberta.
You.
Jeez. What the fuck?
When I was born, Mark, the doctor came in and instead of slapping my bottom, he punched my father and mother right in the face. Said, "What the hell are you guys doing?" He told him to get the hell out of the hospital and don't ever come back.
Oh boy. So we could have had a
slaughter out of my mind now. That's terrible.
No.
We're gonna have to. We might have to go on the road with this act.
We'd make a good triple threat team anyway.
Yeah.
It'd
be. We can
we're like the Three Stooges, but we're not funny.
Now speak for yourself.
All right, I'm not funny. Yeah.
Remember when I got one of these with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and they put the mask on?
Oh,
D-Generation X, yeah.
talk about trying to keep your cool on live television. You know, the first time they you know, I saw this, you know, back then we had lived everything. So I walk into the ring and I got to give them, you know, the bawling out, you know, I got to scold them.
Yeah.
And I look and I see 2 bags in the ring. And the first thing I thought was, what's up? And I looked to see if I was going to get the green slime or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I started doing the promo. Of course, spit flies out of my mouth when I'm yelling and screaming. And they say, "Oh, it's our," and take these Welder's clear masks, you know. And I went to myself, well, that's kind of cute. That's funny, you know.
Yeah,
It didn't make me laugh or anything. And so I started, well, okay. And after the people got a laugh, and I started again. And I started, you know, yelling again. And they, hold it. Sorry. And they both pushed a button, and the windshield wipers started.
Yeah.
Now that took every ounce of power for me not to start laughing. I'm telling you,
That's still a great promo today.
That's got to be the strongest thing that I've ever done, was not to start laughing on that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was
a great moment.
Crazy stuff.
I got to say, I've actually, I think it was a couple of years ago that I found a new appreciation for the Iraqi sympathizer gimmick. Up until then, I was sort of, I don't really get it, but I've since come around, and I can appreciate it even more so, having heard it come from Kelly's perspective, as well as hearing some of the impact that happened with you. But I've now started to go back and take a look at the Commissioner Slaughter days, and I think that there's some real interesting moments there too. And so I'm finding new appreciation now for the Commissioner Slaughter, and I've gone back and rewatched the Triple H match, what was that one called?
Boot camp.
The boot camp match, right?
Yeah.
It was a better match than it had to be. You know, it was it's a better match than it had any right to be when you look at it. It's Commissioner Slaughter and Triple H. Who knew that it could be as entertaining as it was?
Right.
I
was on my weight loss at that time. I was still about 340 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and and I was my back was still bad, but Vince asked me to do it, and I said okay, you know. And the big fight was Shawn Michaels wanted to be the one to wrestle.
Right. Yeah.
So in real life, he and Triple H would have arguments day and night. No, I'm gonna wrestle. No, I'm gonna wrestle. No, I want to wrestle this art, because neither one of them had ever wrestled. And so it was just one of those crazy things that Triple H got picked because of China, I believe. And
okay, yeah. Well, China was at the ring too. So before that starts, there's a little promo with Triple H, and he's pulling out things like prunes and a comb that's only got 2 of the comb parts, so it doesn't touch any hand.
I was the laughing stock of, but you know, I went along with it. That was my character. You know, I had a lot of virtual. You know, I could bend to anything they wanted to do. Vince decided, since your back is out and Gorilla Monsoon has to bow out of being the commissioner, why don't you be the commissioner? He said, but here's the thing: you can't touch anybody. You can't give them the slaughter cannon. You can't put them in the cobra clutch. Can't punch them, because you're the office. You're the guy.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want to you, you know. So I went into Dodge City with no gun and a law book, but didn't do anything. So, you know, I just rolled with the punches and rolled with the flow, and they made an action figure. So
I've got that one upstairs, carded. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a loose one. I need to get a carded one. But the I think I've got the file card for it though. I think it came with the file card. Does it come with a file card on the back? I've got a picture of it for some reason.
No, I don't.
Anyway,
it doesn't have a file card. I think it's got something on the back of it, and I've got a contract in my hand.
Yeah.
Doing the contracts, but it wasn't just Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I had to go against the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
And other. Yeah, exactly. So it was just it was really when I come to the where we were doing TV. You never knew what was. It was so much fun because I didn't know what's happening. Everything went as a flow. And as I said back then, we didn't have scripts. We had a way we were going, but we didn't have. Nobody ever told us what to say or anything like that. So that was the fun part of it because we would.
Yeah.
As they tried to make me laugh, that was part of our business at that time, was to try to make somebody laugh, especially on live television.
Yeah.
Great character.
Great character, and you see it on certain shows, TV shows where people they laugh, like Saturday Night Live, it's a live game.
Yeah.
And
The show goes on.
Giggling to themselves. And,
yeah,
because it's so crazy.
Because they always tried to get the Undertaker to break character, didn't they?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that happening. Yeah,
he was a tough one. Yeah, but that was what made it so much fun. You never the same thing, never a dull moment.
No. Every time Austin came to the ring, did you always imagine that you would get stunned twice? Because he always seemed to pick on you.
Never imagined it. No.
You always took it. You always did the stunner better than everybody else. You made it look like it was really.
Yeah, you sell it.
I usually figured I was going to get one, but I never. Sometimes I get two or three. Sometimes at the arena shows that weren't on TV, he would be relentless. I would be walking up the back to the locker room, and he'd come running out. That was another character I had to put up with. I mean, and he never said anything to me, but I tried to do it as best I could to make him look as strong as I could.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry that they're having somebody else use his move because it was his is the ultimate. It's like somebody using the Cobra Clutch. I don't know why it is or if it's a golden rule, but nobody uses a Cobra Clutch, especially for a finishing move. They might put it on during a match, but they don't call it a Cobra Clutch, or they might say, it's a version of the Cobra Clutch that Sergeant Slaughter made famous.
The $1 Million Dream was a version of it, right?
Yeah. He's the one that caused me to do the camel clutch. Because when I came back as the Iraqi sympathizer, he was there using my hold and calling it the $1 Million Dream. So I could use it. So I started using a what they call the brain buster, and he put the
atomic noogie
in the temple. And then I got a couple of issues with Vince McMahon. He said people are calling up and saying their kids are hurting themselves using that. So don't use it anymore. Think of something else. So I said, well, why don't I do the camel clutch? Since the Iron Sheik and I used to wrestle each other. And lo and behold, they make the Iron Sheik, Colonel Mustafa, which I didn't want, but he owed some money to the office. So they had they had to put him in there somewhere to take some of the money out of his pay to pay themselves. So that's how I got Colonel Mustafa, but I was actually with him last weekend.
Okay, how's he doing?
Down in Atlanta. He's doing good. They're doing a big biography on him. They came to the Slaughterhouse, the camera crew, A&E, and interviewed me for about 5-6 hours. And about the last hour, it was all. I had cameramen and a director here, but the producer was on live feedback to L.A. and he said something to the director, and so the director said to me, "These are all good stories, but do you have anything juicy? Like really that
Yeah.
nobody's ever heard?" I said, "Oh yeah, I didn't know we were supposed to. I'm just protecting the guy. I don't want to say anything." They said, "Oh
Sure.
no. They said gloves are off." He said that was then, and now he's all recovered. He's doesn't drink. He doesn't do any drugs, and back with his wife. And
Oh,
so
cool.
if you want to tell some stories, I said, okay, here we go. I don't know how many they'll use, but I gave him some juicy stories.
So what happened?
When I saw him, he's pretty crippled up. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He was able to stand up from his chair and handshake me, but he didn't walk
Okay.
anywhere.
Sure.
But he was very happy to see me, and I said, I said some pretty rough things, about you in this biography. Oh, okay, no problem. I said, no, I'm talking about some juicy ones that nobody's ever heard before, So should be fun. See what they end up using out of all those stories that I gave them, because we did that treasure show.
Yeah.
And I did 8 days of recording around the country, and they only had an hour show. So a lot of the things that we talked about or filmed never made the show. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens with this one.
So what happened to that movie that you were doing recently? Is that?
I don't know. I was just with when I was down in Atlanta, the lady that played my daughter in the movie lives in Atlanta, and her husband. So we went out to a speakeasy and had a couple cigars and some drinks and a couple hors d'oeuvres. And I asked her, have you heard anything on the movie? And she said, no, I hadn't heard anything. I said, well, maybe it's a blessing that it doesn't ever air, because it was a rough one.
Was it? Oh no!
The last time I filmed, the last day I filmed, there was like 8 pages of dialogue I never even got to. And they said, okay, right. That's it. That's a wrap. What do you mean? And they did a thing where my guy that I was called the coach, and I acted a lot like the Sarge. That's what they wanted, but they called me the coach. And I get this guy, and he doesn't know he didn't know a hammerlock from a wristwatch. And I'm training him to win this match against the champion, who was Rob Van Dam. And,
right.
And my guy has a mask on because he doesn't want to be recognized, because all of his friends are in the audience and people that he works with, because he's a real estate agent.
Right.
and so during the final match, Rob Van Dam's character pulls his mask off and he hides his face. Doesn't want anybody to see him. And I give him this lecture about this is your moment. This is what we trained for. Go, So and he goes in and they're supposed to do this move where he reverses it and pins Rob Van Dam's character. Well, I'm probably giving away too much here. It's probably never going to air anyway, but Jake the Snake Roberts was a special guest referee. And so,
right.
And he's kind of wobbly himself, So he drops down to do a 2 count, because my guy was supposed to kick out and then do a reverse, and 1, 2, 3, he becomes the new champion. Well, when Rob Van Dam's character reverses it, Jake goes down and counts 1, 2, 3. And I went, what happened? He just counted my guy out. So and the producer and the directors all jumping in. That was great. I said, hey, come over here a second. Isn't he supposed to win? My guy's supposed to win. Oh, well, we'll fix it up in production.
Oh no! Oh,
So I'll see you later. Okay.
oh gee.
I hope the check goes through.
I
But
hope
we
they
got
paid you
paid.
well for your
We
time at
got
least.
paid,
Yeah.
but, we haven't heard anything. They talked about in July that they were going to maybe reshoot some more, but I haven't heard anything. Haven't heard. See what they come up with. The
I want to
guy,
see it, but yeah, I hope it's as bad as you mentioned.
I hope it's good. I don't even want to. I know my grandchildren can't watch it.
Yeah.
The language is awful. It's awful.
Right.
Yeah, and they had two black comedians around that would yell out lines for me to say to this kid while I'm training them, and I went, I can't say that. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man, it sounds not even B grade. It sounds C grade. But I'm enthralled with the idea of it that I want to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I've got 2 more offers for movies, and I turned them both down so far. And said, I don't like movies. You want to do a commercial or some voiceovers? I'm in on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But movies.
Well, you're back on. You're back on. What's that called? Cameo. No, the Cameo. Yeah, you're back on GI Joe. You're back on Cameo now. I saw taking Cameo.
Yeah. We figured Father's Day would be something that I just didn't have time for it. I just ran out of. I couldn't get the things done in time. So I said to Paul, my agent, I said maybe we should make ourselves available for Father's Day, because a lot of guys might like to wish their fathers a happy birthday through Sergeant Slaughter. And I think before I came on the air with you, Paul's over in Europe, and he sent me. He's on, he's on your time, Mark, and he sent me like 8 cameos already that have to be done.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So see if I find some time today to try to get some done. But I got till Father's Day. They give you a time limit, so see what happens.
I can record stuff on here if you ever needed me to.
Yeah. Well, I've got a friend here today that's going to help me with some things. I'm going to try to cut a few of them.
Okay.
I'm not, I've always been such a perfectionist that I've got to put the reins on myself and just do like a 30-second to a minute instead of doing like a 2.5, 3 minute promo.
Yeah.
That's just too long. It takes me forever, So
true.
It's different if you're talking about something but you get strange names and strange requests, and you almost have to write them down so you don't forget them when you're doing your promo.
And sometimes you get weird names.
Right. And you have you don't pronounce it right.
You
some people have some funny names,
For the record, I never requested at all for it to be redone. I was happy with it. I thought it was great.
That was Kelly's idea.
Yeah. And I appreciate it, Kelly. Thank you. And the new one is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my next episode of the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship to debut it.
Right.
But I've been using the old one for every episode of the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship, and I thought it was great. I thought it was the best thing ever, and I still do. And I super appreciate that you did that one, and I appreciate the new one too with the proper pronounced name. But it was never an issue for me, ever. It was never an issue.
Mark, have you done the Slaughterhouse Wrestling yet?
I have, yes. I have a couple of cameos, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm Renegade 1.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
So the last one was actually dedicated to the general.
Yeah.
And it takes place in.
Yeah.
There's it's not much, but it was the least I could do. The most I can do is hang out and talk whenever you need to.
Right.
Yes,
And I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that whenever you want. But I was happy to dedicate that one to the general because the general was just as much a part of this whole experience. It's something I wanted to do. But yeah, Mark comes on as Renegade One and ex Cobra Viper.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. I'll have to get you to do a voice one day, Sarge. I already voiced the Sarge, so you'll need a different character. I'll come up with a character called the the Coach.
Yeah. Do you guys remember back when I first did the GI Joe that there was a twin? There was a twin Sergeant Slaughter. I did a promo.
Oh, the live segment, segment one. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There is a promo where you are acting against yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two Sergeant Slaughters. One was an imposter.
Yes.
So we had fun with that. So maybe we could do something like that.
Well, maybe you could voice Sergeant Slammer.
I could always be Bertha Slaughter.
Oh!
I've been Bertha Slaughter before. Diane, my wife Diane and I went to a Halloween party one time. She dressed up as me, and I dressed up as my sister, Bertha Slaughter.
Right.
So I had the wig on, and we had more fun because I had to go to a clothing store. I went to one of those for the larger ladies.
Right.
And so I walked in and I walked up to the lady, and she's kind of like, she's my wife behind me, like she doesn't belong here. She's too petite, you know. And she said, "May I help you?" I said, "I hope so. What's your largest bra?" And she said, "Excuse me, what's your largest bra?" She said, she takes me back to the large bras, and I said, "Well, okay, and how about dresses? Where's your dresses?" and so I finally had to let her know that I was going into a Halloween party. But we had more fun dressing me up, and the only thing I couldn't find were shoes. I couldn't find any high heels to wear. Thank God, I would have probably killed myself. So I had to wear a pair of loafers. So
that's all right.
I had the nylons. I had an old fur wrap and a wig on, and Diane made up my face, lipstick, and the whole thing. And I had a purse, and we walked into the Halloween party. I went after all the guys. I mean, I think Diane ran out of lipstick out of her tube because I kept telling her, "Put some more on me. Put some more."
Reapply.
I was kissing all the cow, my buddies. My, yo, cute. So, Bertha Slaughter was a big hit.
I think Bertha Slaughter.
I have to find some pictures of Bertha Slaughter.
We'll have to throw that in the Slaughterhouse Championship.
Yeah,
I was just going to say she's going to have to make a debut. She really is.
This can't go undone. You're already pretty tall. I can't imagine you in heels. That would be so dangerous. But
oh wow,
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, and we'll get some. We'll have to get some lines for it. We'll throw you on the next one.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but my not roommate, but my friend is woken, and we're gonna go have some breakfast, and I'm gonna put him to work.
All right. Well, thank you for spending 3.5 hours with us.
Yeah.
Oh, has it been that long? Yeah,
it has.
Wow. I'll send you a bill.
Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah. I was very nervous to start with, but
got it now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you both so much for today. It's been just what I need. I've had a few bad days, so this has been fantastic. So thank you.
Just keep watching this back and forth.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I said about either one of you that maybe hurt your feelings from the bottom of my heart, I don't care.
Yeah. All right, so we'll check.
I was going to say I don't give a shit, but I didn't know if you could say shit on here.
Fuck no.
I'm dying.
All right, guys. Well, stay in touch.
So happy to see you laughing, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. What time is it there now?
Oh, bear with me. 2:30.
2:30. So you get the whole day to do some things.
Yes.
We didn't take up too much of your time.
No.
Okay.
I went for my walk early, so.
Okay. And
That's
Zazel,
good.
what are your plans for the rest of the day? What time is it where you are?
It's 11:30 p.m.
Oh wow! So you have to
Send them
go.
my apologies as well.
You're going to go have a gin and tonic and
And a
hit
snooze.
the deck, huh? Well,
All right, so
my day's just beginning here, so
a
it's been a
tentative.
fun beginning. It's been a really
Yes, I think
fun
so.
beginning.
Yes. Absolutely.
There's only two ways out of my command: on your feet like a man, or in a ditty bag. An itty bitty ditty bag. Got it?
Got it.
Got it.
All right. As you were. You're dismissed.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below.